Hey guys, this is Paul. I wanted to give you a quick tour of my Sonic model Mini SkyHunter. Um, Taken it out and test flown it a few times, and she flies pretty nice. She's pretty stable. Had to make a few little tweaks and modifications to increase the stability. But now she's flying great. So to start off, probably the most interesting part of this plane is the front. I've got a Dji O4 Lite on a pan tilt servo gimbal here in the front, and then an HGLRC hammer LHCP antenna, just to get a little bit more range to my goggles. So this gimbal, it has a servo that's mounted sticking straight up here, and it is responsible for the pan function. And there's another tiny gimbal right up below the camera that is responsible for the tilt. This is actually from Atomrc, and I originally bought it for my Dolphin, but the Dolphin doesn't really have a good platform to mount this on, so I figured the Mini SkyHunter is practically built for this, and it works great. And I'll make a video on how I set this up and how it works with my Radiomaster Boxer. Show you how to set that up in INAV. And then you also notice the Dji O4 looks a little different. It's not naked. This is the Axis Flying CNC cooling kit for the O4 Lite. I got it off Get FPV for like 20 bucks. And it's nice CNC'd aluminum. Comes with thermal paste and a camera casing as well. Fits together great. The only negative that I have found so far is on the camera case, and it comes with a glass lens. And when I was flying earlier in the daylight, I noticed a lot of flare on my video, and it looked focused in the middle of the camera, in the middle of the video. It looked clear and focused, but you could definitely see it was like a circle where it was clear, and then kind of distorted and fuzzy, and just didn't look good. So I saw a video from Mads Tech that you could remove the glass from this case. The only way I was able to remove it was by actually breaking it. It was really glued in there, or secure, so I actually had to kind of smash it out, and then kind of clean up the shards on the sides. But now it's working great. Yeah, so inside I've got, underneath here is a very large battery bay. I've got all sorts of cables coming out from my gimbal, but I usually run a 2800 LiPo 4S or a 4500 milliamp hour LiPo 4S as well in here. On the DJI, I've got a set on a little plug, so I can disconnect if I'm going to be working on it and I don't need the DJI powered up. But the CNC cooling kit works great. I've never had it overheat, even being out in the hot sunlight. Got the HGLRC M100 Pro, and then inside I got the Speedybee F405 wing, ESC TBS Lucid, AM32 ESC, and then in the back I've got my Emax Pro Series 2808 1350 kV with a Gemfan 7042 biblade, and then Emax 12-gram digital servos on the elevator and on the ailerons. And then I've got these cool flashing lights on the sides too. So, one more thing. I've got a BR3 receiver from Radiomaster 915. Let's see if I can show you these. And then I got these flat 915 megahertz receivers that are, or antennas that are actually made for TBS Crossfire, but they work great on the ELRS BR3. These have no null spot, no dead spot on them, and they get great reception. Highly recommend if you run 915 on ELRS. Alright, I'll show you how I hooked up the gimbal and get you on INAV. Thanks. Okay, we're going to connect into INAV configurator. I'm using version 8.0.1 on my Speedybee F405 wing. We'll go ahead and connect. And the first place we'll go to set up the pan tilt gimbal is the mixer page. And I've already got it set up, so I'm not going to redo it, but I'll walk you through how I did it. What you're going to do is you're going to add new mixer rule. So under the servo mixer, we've got, for my Mini SkyHunter, I have servo 0 as stabilized pitch. That's my elevator right up here in the picture. Servo 1 and servo 2 are my ailerons for stabilized roll, 4 and 5. And then adding new mixer rule will pop up 2 new white labeled servos. And what we're going to do here is you'll have to go into your transmitter model menu and go into your mixer settings on your radio, and you will assign a switch or a dial. Personally, I think dials work best for panning and tilting. So in my case, on my Radiomaster Boxer, I'm using my S2, which is my right dial, and S1, which is my left dial. And my S2 dial on the right is for my pan function, and S1 is for my tilt function. And I chose S1 dial as my tilt because I just don't use it too much. The right S2 dial for panning just felt more natural to me. So in my mixer settings on my model in my Boxer, I assigned S2 dial to channel 11. And that's important because you will have to go into this input menu and you will select whichever RC channel you put in your mixer settings on your radio. This will be exactly that. You have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you just have to remember whatever dial or switch you want to function as your pan or your tilt. You have to remember what RC channel that is assigned to in your mixer on your radio. And that's it. Then you assign those switches to whatever RC channel it is. Boom, done. Hit save and reboot. You're good. And then when you come back in to the mixer setup, you will notice, I mean, they were there before, but you'll notice you have 2 new timers. So my pan servo, I will connect to signal 6 on my Speedybee F405 wing, and then tilt will be S7 on my Speedybee. So just everything's here that you need to set this up. It's actually very straightforward. It was a little confusing for me at first, but I figured it out. Hopefully this will help you guys. I will send out a video on what it looks like in my Boxer, in case anyone has questions. but then this is it. Yeah, I hope you guys, this kind of clears things up for anybody who's trying to set one of these gimbals up. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye. At the Radiomaster Boxer mixer settings for pan-tilt gimbal. I'm already on my correct model. So we're just going to hit the model page, and then we will scroll over till we see mixer. And this is where all of your channels are to assign switches. So in my case, like I showed you in the INAV configurator, I had channel 9, which is connected to my S1 switch. This is my tilt function. And then channel 11 is my S2, which is my pan function. So this is what you need to set up and remember which channel corresponds to which dial or switch. Hope that clears everything up. Alright, we're back looking at the Hunter. I want to show you where my pan-tilt gimbal connections are on my Speedybee F405 wing. So these are I've got my elevator ailerons here. So this is S3, 4, 5 for my control surfaces. And then these guys, I've got my pan function was in S6, so that's this guy right here, and then S7 was my tilt right here. So basically, since I've only got one motor, I've got that in S1. Since I don't have a second motor, S2 is blank, S3 is elevator, S4 is left aileron, S5 is right aileron, S6 is pan on the gimbal, and S7 is tilt on the gimbal. Alright guys, I got the battery plugged in just to give you guys a demo on the pan tilt servo gimbal. Every now and then it says sensor lost, even though it's not lost. I don't know. Okay, so let's do the pan function first. So that's my S2 channel 11 to the right, spinning to the right, goes to the right, and to the left, goes to the left, and then centered, and then tilt to the left, goes up, and to the right goes down. So you can actually get some pretty cool shots with the pan tilt gimbal. Typically I'll just move pan over to the left or right so I can check out the wing, like during takeoff, or there's a cool something off to my left or right. But most of the time I just have it straight ahead. Oh, there is another cool thing to do. If you're in RTH and loitering, like in return to home, and you, let's say I always set my loiter direction to the right, so I could turn my servo gimbal to the right, and then you can kind of focus on one point that you're loitering around. It's kind of cool. Alright, that's it.